It's 3 in the morning. You're exhausted. Your eyes hurt. You know you need to sleep. You have work tomorrow. And you're still scrolling. Not because the content is good. Not because you're enjoying it. You're not even processing what you're seeing anymore. Just an endless stream washing over you while you sit there, paralyzed, unable to stop. You tell yourself, just 1 more minute. That was an hour ago. This isn't entertainment. This is compulsion. Your brain hijacked by systems designed to keep you scrolling forever. Welcome to doomscrolling, where you consume endless negative content despite knowing it's making you feel worse, despite wanting to stop, despite every rational part of your brain screaming at you to put the phone down. You're not weak. You're not lacking willpower. Your brain is being exploited by technology that understands your neurology better than you do. The platforms know exactly what they're doing. They've engineered these systems using decades of research on psychology, behavioral conditioning, and reward systems, and it's working perfectly. So let's break down what's happening when you doomscroll, why your brain can't stop, how algorithms exploit your evolution, and what you can actually do about it. Your brain didn't evolve for infinite content. It evolved for scarcity. For most of human history, information was limited. Stories around a fire, conversations with your tribe, that was it. Your brain developed to pay attention to new information because new information might be important, might signal danger, might reveal opportunities. So you have neural circuits dedicated to detecting novelty. And when they fire, they release dopamine. Dopamine isn't pleasure. It's anticipation. Your brain saying, pay attention, this might be important. Social media gives you infinite novelty. Scroll. New post. Dopamine. Scroll. New post. Dopamine. Your brain gets the signal that important information keeps appearing. So it keeps seeking more, except nothing is actually important. It's just endless content designed to seem novel. To trigger dopamine, to keep you seeking. This is called variable ratio reinforcement. The same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Sometimes you get something interesting. A funny meme, relevant news, something that captures attention. But you never know when, so you keep scrolling, trying to find the next reward. The platforms optimize for this. They mix genuinely interesting content with filler. Reward you just often enough to keep seeking, but not so often you get satisfied and stop. You're not scrolling because you're enjoying it. You're scrolling because your brain is trapped in a dopamine-seeking loop with no natural endpoint. In nature, information is finite. Eventually, you run out. Eventually, you stop. On social media, the scroll is infinite. Your brain keeps seeking rewards. The algorithm makes sure they appear just often enough to keep you hooked. And it gets worse, because it's not just novelty driving this. Your brain pays more attention to negative information than positive. This is negativity bias. It exists for evolutionary reasons. In our ancestral environment, missing positive information meant missing an opportunity. Missing negative information meant death. If you didn't notice berries, you'd be hungry. If you didn't notice the predator, you'd be dead. So your brain prioritizes threats, locks onto negative information, remembers bad experiences more vividly than good ones. This kept you alive for thousands of years. And then came social media. Your negativity bias encounters an infinite stream of content, algorithmically optimized to trigger emotional reactions. And negative content triggers stronger reactions than positive. Articles about disasters get more clicks than progress. Videos about conflict get more engagement than cooperation. Outrage gets more shares than gratitude. The algorithms notice this. They learn that negative content keeps people on platform longer, generates more engagement, creates more revenue, so they serve you more negative content, which triggers your negativity bias, which makes you pay more attention. which teaches the algorithm you want more negative content. It's a feedback loop. Your ancient threat detection system exploited by modern algorithmic optimization. You're not consuming random content anymore. You're consuming algorithmically curated feeds of the most engaging negative information available. Wars, disasters, injustice, suffering, conflict, crisis, all delivered directly to your threat detection systems. In an infinite stream. Your brain thinks it's scanning for threats to keep you safe, but there's no action you can take, no danger you can avoid, no problem you can solve. You're just absorbing endless bad news, while your stress response stays activated, and you can't look away. Your negativity bias keeps telling you this might be important, might be a threat you need to know about, so you keep scrolling, searching for the bottom of the bad news, trying to understand the scope, trying to feel informed enough to stop. That point never comes. The feed is infinite. The bad news is endless. Your brain will never feel like it has enough information about threats. This is learned helplessness in real time. Exposure to problems you can't solve. Threats you can't escape. And it's destroying your mental health. You're not scrolling to find information. You're scrolling to resolve uncertainty. And uncertainty is one of the most psychologically uncomfortable states humans experience. Your brain hates not knowing. It craves resolution, closure, understanding. When something uncertain appears, your brain goes into problem-solving mode. Seeking information, trying to understand, trying to regain control. This is adaptive when uncertainty can be resolved, when information helps you make decisions. But social media presents infinite uncertainty that can never be resolved. Breaking news, developing situations, ongoing crises, political conflicts, all incomplete, all evolving, all uncertain. Your brain tries to resolve uncertainty by gathering more information, by scrolling, by checking updates, by reading comments. Except the information never resolves the uncertainty. It creates more questions, more angles, more complexity. So you keep scrolling, trying to understand enough to feel settled, where uncertainty resolves, where you can stop. But that point doesn't exist. Platforms are designed to keep information incomplete, to tease the next update, create cliffhangers, make you wonder what happens next. News with developing tags, stories that update all day, live threads, real-time coverage, all designed to keep you checking, scrolling, seeking resolution that never comes. While you're trapped in this uncertainty-seeking loop, you're training yourself to be unable to tolerate not knowing, unable to sit with incomplete information. You develop compulsive need to check, to update, to scroll, not because it helps, because the discomfort of uncertainty becomes unbearable. And the only thing that temporarily relieves it is more scrolling, which creates more uncertainty, which requires more scrolling. Perfect trap. And you're caught. You tell yourself while doom scrolling, I'm staying informed. I need to know what's happening. This is important. It feels productive, responsible, like engagement instead of avoidance. But it's not. It's the opposite. Doom scrolling creates the illusion of productivity while preventing real action. You're not engaging with problems. You're consuming information about problems. Not the same thing. Your brain confuses them. Consuming information feels like doing something, like participating. Psychologists call this moral licensing. You feel like you've done your part by being aware, by reading, by feeling appropriately upset. That feeling of having done something makes you less likely to do anything real. You've gotten the psychological reward of feeling engaged, so motivation for actual action decreases. You scroll through climate change posts and feel concerned. Feels like environmental activism, but you haven't changed behaviors or supported solutions. You read about injustice and feel outraged. feels like fighting for justice. But you haven't done anything to address it. Scrolling gives you emotional experience of engagement without requiring real engagement. Activism theater performed for yourself. Platforms encourage this. They give you the feeling of participation through likes, shares, comments. Make consuming feel like contributing, but it's not. It's consuming. And the more you consume, the more exhausted you become, overwhelmed, paralyzed. Because real action requires focus, energy, sustained attention on specific problems you can actually affect. Doomscrolling prevents all that, fragments your attention across infinite problems, depletes energy on emotional reactions to situations you can't control, creates decision paralysis by overwhelming you with more issues than any human could address. You end up exhausted, anxious, inactive, feeling engaged while actually paralyzed. And platforms want this. Engaged people might leave to take action. Paralyzed people keep scrolling. Doomscrolling isn't just psychological, it's physiological. Your stress response is designed for acute threats. Predator appears, body floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Heart spikes, muscles tense. Fight or flee. Then, when threat's gone, body returns to baseline. You recover. But doomscrolling creates chronic stress activation, constant low-level threat perception. Your body stays alert and never resolves. Every negative post, every disaster, every outrage, your stress response activates just a little. Just enough to keep you in fight or flight. This compounds over hours, days, months. Chronic stress destroys health, suppresses immune system, increases inflammation, raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep, impairs digestion, damages cardiovascular system, and sleep. Doomscrolling destroys sleep multiple ways. You stay up late scrolling when you should sleep. Blue light suppresses melatonin. Emotional activation makes your brain too wired to sleep. You lie there replaying what you read. If you wake during night, you check your phone. Restart the cycle. Result? Sleep deprivation, which makes everything worse. Impairs emotional regulation, makes you more reactive, anxious, depressed, less able to handle stress. Impairs cognitive function, focus, productivity, clear thinking, increases appetite and cravings, makes healthy habits harder, weakens immune system, makes you more susceptible to illness. Doomscrolling creates a cycle where it makes you feel terrible, which makes you want to escape by scrolling more, which makes you more terrible. Your body pays the price. Every time you choose scrolling over sleep, every time you stay up until 3 consuming content that makes you miserable, your body keeps score. Eventually, the bill comes due. Everyone has the same advice. Just put your phone down. Just stop scrolling. Exercise willpower. If it were that simple, you'd have done it already. Doomscrolling isn't a choice you're making consciously. It's compulsion, driven by neural pathways reinforced thousands of times. Every time you scroll and get dopamine from novelty, you strengthen those pathways. Every time you scroll and temporarily relieve uncertainty anxiety, you reinforce the behavior. Your brain learns, feeling anxious, bored, uncertain, scroll. That's the solution. After thousands of repetitions, this becomes automatic. You don't consciously decide, you just find yourself doing it. Phone in hand, app open, scrolling. Before you realized you picked up the device. This is habit formation. Habits don't respond to willpower, they respond to changing cues, routines, and rewards that maintain them. Telling yourself to just stop is fighting neural pathways reinforced thousands of times, against dopamine-seeking circuits stronger than conscious intent. Like telling someone with OCD to just stop checking locks, or anxiety to just stop worrying, or depression to just cheer up. The compulsion exists below conscious control. You can't willpower your way out. And shame makes it worse. You feel weak for not stopping, like you're failing, like you lack discipline. But you're not weak. You're dealing with technology specifically engineered to be addictive, designed by teams whose entire job is making you unable to stop. You're not fighting fair. You're fighting algorithms backed by billions and decades of psychology research. Platforms want you to think it's your fault, that you need more willpower. Because if you blame yourself, you won't blame them. But it's not your fault. The system is designed this way. Breaking free requires more than deciding to stop. It requires understanding mechanisms, changing environment, building different habits, and being compassionate when you slip. Because you will slip. That's not failure. That's what happens fighting systems designed to exploit your neurology. So how do you actually stop? Not willpower. Strategy. First, understand triggers. What makes you start scrolling? Boredom, anxiety, loneliness, procrastination. Identify the feeling that precedes the behavior. Second, change your environment. Make scrolling harder. Delete apps, use blockers, turn off notifications. Create friction between impulse and behavior. Third, replace the habit. When you feel the trigger, do something else that addresses the actual need. Bored? Read, call someone, walk. Something requiring active engagement, not passive consumption. Anxious? Grounding techniques. Breathing, movement. Address anxiety instead of numbing it. Lonely? Reach out to someone real. Have actual conversation. Build real connection, not the illusion. Fourth, set boundaries. Specific times you can scroll, specific amounts. Stick to them. Use timers, apps that lock you out after limits. Fifth, be compassionate with yourself. You'll fail. You'll slip. You'll find yourself scrolling after committing not to. That's normal, part of the process. Don't use it as evidence you're weak. Use it as information about triggers to address next. Sixth, examine what you're actually getting. Write down how you feel before and after. Honestly assess if it's giving you what you think. Most realize they feel worse after. More anxious, overwhelmed, disconnected. Knowing this consciously makes choosing differently easier. Seventh, build alternatives, real sources of information, real social connection, real ways to spend time that actually make you feel better. This isn't about completely disconnecting. It's about using technology intentionally, not compulsively. Being in control instead of controlled. Your attention is yours, not the platforms, not the advertisers, not the algorithms. Yours. And right now it's being stolen, hijacked, exploited, sold. Every minute doomscrolling is a minute not living your actual life. Not building real relationships. Not doing things that matter. Not being present. You can't get that time back. The only question is whether you'll keep losing more. Breaking free isn't about willpower. It's about recognizing what's happening, understanding how systems work, making structural changes that protect your attention. Because your attention is the most valuable thing you have. It's how you experience life. Connect with others, build meaning. And billion-dollar companies are competing to steal as much as possible. You're not fighting fair, but you can still win. By understanding mechanisms, changing environment, building different habits, choosing presence over consumption. By recognizing infinite scroll as a trap, the novelty is empty. Information won't resolve uncertainty. Comparison will only make you miserable. By putting down the phone, closing the app, walking away. By living your actual life instead of consuming other people's curated ones. It's not easy, but it's possible. And it's worth it. Because on the other side of doom scrolling is presence, real connection, actual engagement with your life. And that's infinitely more valuable than anything you'll find scrolling. If this resonated, subscribe. Next video is about hustle culture and why you feel guilty for resting. And right now, before you keep scrolling, before you open another app, ask yourself, is this really what I want to be doing with my time? If the answer is no, you know what to do. Put the phone down and do literally anything else. Your life is waiting.